In my last video, I reviewed Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Genesis. In this video, I want to take a look at all the Mortal Kombat games released for the Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance was one of the most popular handhelds in the world, especially at the time of its release. Nintendo's handheld sold 81.51 million units before its discontinuation in 2010. This worldwide popularity caught the attention of game developers. One of these developers was obviously Midway. Midway knew that Nintendo had stepped up their game since the Game Boy Color and wanted to get an MK game out on the new GBA. So they wasted no time in releasing Mortal Kombat Advance on December 12, 2001. This would be yet another port of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 but packed into a GBA cartridge. This port of the game is actually what some in the community consider to be one of the worst ways to play Ultimate MK3, and I fully agree with them. This is the absolute worst MK game I think I've ever played, and I love Ultimate MK3. Hell, I love the original MK3. This game has the most input delay I've seen in any game in my life. Holy shit. Mix this with the fact that the CPUs are as fast as Barry Allen himself and you get a bad experience. Hell, this game was so bad that they remade it for the Nintendo DS under a different name called Ultimate Mortal Kombat. I can get past the fact that it has lower resolution and lower sound quality, but looking even at the gameplay, this game is absolute garbage. I would rather play an MK game on the Sega Game Gear than experience whatever the hell I just experienced here on the GBA. Some of you actually consider Mortal Kombat 4 to be the worst Mortal Kombat game. It doesn't even compare to whatever the hell this is. I am sorry if it sounds like I'm just absolutely crapping on this game, and it's because I am. But I'm sorry that I am. I owned this game as a kid, but I would not recommend it to almost anyone when other versions of this game, better versions, exist. Moving on to the next MK game on the list, we have Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Deadly Alliance was released by Midway on November 20th, 2002. This was the first attempt at a 3D fighter on the GBA, and in my opinion, this game looks pretty damn impressive. The characters and stage designs looks flawless in my opinion. If you were watching this without knowing it was being played on a GBA, then you might even think it was being played on a Nintendo DS. The crazy part about this, and a little fun fact for you, no other game like this ever released for the Nintendo DS. Only the GBA had the 3D Mortal Kombat fighting game, which is kinda crazy to me considering if I ever did a review on the two or a versus video, I would not be comparing the PSP version to the DS version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat. I would be comparing it to this one right here on the GBA. I don't even really know why, but the game kind of just blows my mind that it exists and looks this damn good. I think I'm still just blown back by the fact that Midway didn't even attempt this on the Nintendo DS, but instead did it on the GBA instead. Before we go any further, I would like to point out that there was 3 MK games made for the GBA, 2 depending on how you look at it. I say this because the next MK game on the list for the GBA would have been Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition. Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition was released a year after Deadly Alliance on August 25th, 2003. You may see that it looks exactly the same as Deadly Alliance, you might not even see a difference at all. This is because it's basically the other half to Deadly Alliance, but with improved gameplay. To make this make a little bit more sense, the console version had too large of a character roster and too many maps to fit into one small Game Boy cartridge. So instead of Midway cramming a whole console game into one Game Boy cartridge, they decided to cram it into 2 separate ones. I could see people at the time being a little upset about having to buy 2 separate cartridges and feeling like they bought the same exact game. However, where the character roster is split down half, you do get different fighters and there is improved gameplay mechanics. I honestly just love the fact that this game exists at all on the GBA. I think it would also be safe to say that this game is probably pushing the GBA to its absolute limits. Having a game in a 3D environment like this on the Game Boy Advance kind of makes me mad, and it makes me want other GBA games to be exactly like this one. Sadly, not all games can keep up with the Mortal Kombat franchise. I hope you guys have enjoyed the review, and I hope this video deserves a like. Please consider subscribing to my channel if it does, and I will hope to see you all in the next one.